microphone. All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Had a little technical difficulties. As you know, I am broadcasting live from New York City. I generally go to the trial every day. Today, I missed you guys. So I wanted to at least spend the morning time breaking down the case with you guys here. Here we go. And we have some updated tweets. All right, so let's just pick up from where we left off. Hold on, let's end this one. Hold on. Now I'm getting confused. There we go. I'm sorry. I had this open on two screens, which is part of my problem. So good. Okay, you still see me. All right. Let me know where you're watching from the chat. Sorry, guys. Okay. We are back. All right. Like the video, guys. Yes. Like as you come back in. We had like 3,000 in the chat before, and I'm having to start all over. All right. Yeah, great question. A summary of what's already been covered. All right. So Jane is on the stand. Jane has provided testimony. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. Jane has provided testimony that is supposed to help support that she has been trafficked by Diddy based on fraud, force, and coercion. She hasn't presented any of the evidence of force yet. Force is going to be something physical, but there has been fraud and coercion. Let me give you the Cliff's Notes version, y'all. And I want to hear your thoughts in the chat. Let me know if you think this jury, this working class jury, is going to agree that this is coercion or fraud-based trafficking. So the fraud, literally, the fraud is that he told her that he'd give her more quality time. Yeah, literally. He told her, and so the people that were watching and we were going through and reading the chats, but yes, we are back on track. People that were there before, Okay, I am going to do a poll. That is a great question. Sorry, that's a great question. Yeah, hit that like button as you come on in. So it is supposed to be fraud based on him telling her we could spend more time together. There'd be more quality time. It wouldn't just be the freakoffs. But here's the thing. So far, she has not definitively told us that he said, okay, this will be the very last one. Like that hasn't been testified to at all. I'm waiting for her to say like, yeah, this will be our last freak off. And after that, it's me and you, baby girl. He hasn't said that. It's just that he's promised quality time. But more specifically, there was an incident where she was upset. He had promised her that he takes her on a trip. It was her birthday trip. And then he has Paul the hooker prancing on in there. Paul the prostitute comes right on into their resort. He finally takes her to Turks and Caicos, y'all. She has been crying for pages in this transcript. She has been crying. I have the transcript from last week, but you know, these tweets that we're reading. She has just been crying and crying, y'all, about having to do these freak offs. And it's her birthday, and she's excited because he's finally taken her to Turks. It's now been about 2 years of them dating. He's finally taken her back there, and he has tried. Yes, Joe, he's tried to dump her multiple times. But according to the government, every time he tries to dump her, that's the sex trafficking. Because he's trying to dump her because she's expressing she doesn't want to F strangers. Now, I don't blame you, girl. I don't want to F a stranger too. Sometimes I don't want to F the man that I got. Well, when I have one. But I said, yes, the jury will very likely never visit Turks. They're not going to feel the sympathy. Literally, we'll go back to some of those tweets and some of that information. But when I was in the courtroom on Friday, I literally was like, Lord, have mercy. The prosecution can't possibly be serious, but they are. So it's quality time is the fraud. He lied about spending quality time with her. What that means for, I don't know, any of y'all's husbands or my daddy, he lies all the time about spending quality time with, well, actually, no, my mom don't really like hanging out with him. He gets on her nerves, but I'm sure at one point he lied about that. All men do, right? Quality time. But then the other component is coercion. It's supposed to be financial coercion, y'all. And it really is a thing. I ran it through ChatGPT, and I also just pulled it through. It's called Westlaw or LexisNexis. There can be coercion based on extreme financial harm. the threat of extreme financial harm. So let me just start the poll. Hold on, I'm going to do the poll on here. I want to see this poll. I'm going to make a good old poll real quick. Here we go. Good. I'm live right now. All right, yes, we're going to do this poll. I need to see if you guys feel, because I've seen some people on, on Twitter and stuff like that in my comments. Shoot. My comments who said, yeah, they feel like it was financial threats. Here we go. So I'm going to give y'all a poll. This is loud. I'm sorry, y'all. Thank you so much for this super chat. Positive Beauty. All right, we're going to do a poll. I need to know. I need to know what y'all think. There we go. Start a poll. Is this financial coercion, which is sex trafficking? It's basically an element of it. You just need that in commercial SEX. There is commercial SEX. So commercial SEX is something in exchange of value. The fact that he pays her, and the fact that he coercion, the fact that he pays the hookers, that makes it, it's not working. That makes it commercial SEX. Even the fact that he, is giving her a house, that also makes it commercial SEX. If the argument is that the house was in exchange for the loving. Why my vision is so bad? Trafficking. Okay, you guys know what I'm trying to spell, so just pretend like it's correct. All right. Is this financial coercion? Okay, got it. All right. Now my poll. Yes. Okay. I got it. Sorry, I'm blind as a bat, y'all. Literally. Desiree, thank you. I need it. I will take all that I can get. I had like 3,000 in the chat. I'm so mad. I sure did. I had 3,000 in the chat and I'm starting over. So yeah, financial fraud. Let me know if you see it. The other element, because again, he was only giving her 10,000 a month, or correction, he was giving her 10K a month. But then the issue was that allegedly, when he would get upset with her, he would then try to take away, he would threaten to break up with her, offer her 3 months rent, which I thought was generous, but who am I? He would offer her 3 months rent. And apparently that was just not Christian. That was not kind. It was not enough. It's still financial fraud because her only income, remember, is child support and whatever Diddy gives her. Poor lonesome soul. Bless her little heart. Hold on, we got it. Okay. Poor thing. Okay, let's get these tweets back going. Hold on. All right, so Inner City Press. Let me make sure it's on the screen that you guys can see it. Or happen back in it. Okay, let me make it bigger. I know. This is just insane. All right. I want them. Enough is enough, y'all. This is her third day on the stand. Get to the part where he's knocking you in between the washer and dryer. Listen, I don't want you to be hurt. I don't want her to be hurt. But get to that part. Tell me about that part of the trafficking. The force brings it home, especially given that with Cassie, they literally opened discussing the elements of force. Tell me about how he took a switch to you and he chased you around the house and he hit you with the switch and he tore your legs up and stuff. All right, so Jane starts here and she's talking about the sobriety party is where we kind of left off. They were at the hotel. She said first she went to a concert, then he called her the B word, and Diddy's assistant then told her, you don't deserve to be talked to like that. That's right, you don't. Then she says, so she's over here being nice. He's talking to her crazy. And meanwhile, he's about to ask her to do a vaginal triathlon. He got some nerve. Put her in the court. So it says, I didn't want to take the substances. She says, who was the first oh, no. She gets there. And she says, I didn't want to take the substances. Who was the first entertainer? Rico, then Paul, then Anton. And then I threw up. And she says, Sean then said, good, you threw up. Now you'll feel better. Then I did it to Anton, and I felt terrible. Whose text is this? It's mine. I wrote, baby, I love you. Do you think you could put something in my hotel? Did he respond? No. I needed furniture for the house. I wrote, you weren't too busy to make sure Chelsea was ready in DC. Play the voice note. It's Combs, and he's saying, I don't know where the F Chelsea is. I ain't with no bees. Leave me the F alone. I'm single. I bet he is. So it sounds like he's trying to get away from her. And she's like, she don't want him to leave her because she knows can't that go both ways though, guys? She knows that if he leaves her, she's going to have to start paying her own rent. So she don't want him to go neither, as far as I can tell. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Here we go. And then they're wrapping it up. It says, here we go. During a long break. Okay, Combs is standing with, okay, we got those. Then it was, oh, here we are. Oh, then he starts talking about his house, y'all. That's right. That's where we were. He was trying to come to the house with the kid, remember? And he says, that's my house too. He wrote, I'm coming over. You gonna let me in or not? Is your baby there? Are you gonna let me in our house? And he says it again and again. Then Sean wrote, he talked about being stressed. And then we hop down to this heart. He says, oh, that's when they have the sobriety party, y'all. That's where they try to do the freak off with no substances. She says, we had the sobriety party at the hotel. First, I went to a concert. I stood with his security. Didn't he just say that? Yeah, we were in that part. Sorry. Sorry. Oh, yeah, that's where, she needed furniture for the hotel. That's right, for the house. Now, mind you, she takes 100% of her $10,000 a month allowance, tells him to completely allocate it to rent, and ain't got no furniture. He does give her $15,000 for furniture, but the house is like a very, very expensive house, and it's huge. So the $15,000, that ain't gonna do nothing. Girl, you're gonna have to go to IKEA. So in turn, she then gets credit cards. Literally, her having to get credit cards is a component of, I guess, this financial coercion. Comey asks, what frustrations did you feel? This is after Diddy told her, leave me alone, I'm single. I said, what frustrations did you feel? She says, not being heard about how I felt about the hotel nights. Did you use names for the other women? Yes. It was misdirected anger. I asked, what does the house have to do with what I'm saying? I wrote, I'm not Gina or Cassie. Ooh. She said, I'm not Gina or Cassie. Oh, well, what is the difference, girl? I'm not Gina. Oh, hold up. Oh, wait a minute. So I think no one's had a financial response. Y'all, this message, I'm not Gina or Cassie, that could be a problem for her from the perspective of, we know Gina and Cassie, he whooped up on them. So I don't know if this is her implying, you can't whoop up on me. I'll go to toe with you. And girl, I'm with you. You know, don't tap me in because I'm not your friend, but I'm with that. But if this is her saying, I'm not Gina or Cassie, implying like, you can't whip up on me, that's going to be interesting to play into. They're also claiming that he trafficked her via force. But what you're going to see later in the testimony is the physical fisticuffs that she gets into with Puffy. She started it. I think both times she whacks him in the face. Now, so she says, I'm not Gina or Cassie. Were you telling Sean you were going to speak out about your relationship? Objection. Sustained. Please read. Did you reference your kid? Yes. I said, you got me effed up. Go ahead, girl. Speak up. That's right. I said, just complete what he promised about. I said, just complete what you promised about the 2 years, about the home. I said, don't contact me. What did he say in response? He said, oh, I'm super clear now. I said, you had me on constant pins and needles. Now I'm sick. Leave me alone. So the 2 years was the lease on her home. They had been in a relationship for 2 years. So she asked for him to do the love contract, paying for the rent for 2 years. So she's saying, don't talk to me, just pay for my rent for the 2 years. Let me tell you, you got to be some type of beautiful. Oh, I missed the context. Tell me, what did I miss? I'm sitting here with health issues and a cute face thinking of the times I did stuff like that. Yes. You got to be some type of beautiful, y'all, to feel confident enough to tell yo sugar daddy, you got me effed up and you need to keep paying my rent for the next 2 years. Hey, go for it, mama. If he'll do it, go for it. I as of the school of thought and was raised such that the day you break up is the day he's probably going to stop paying your bills. So don't get accustomed to anything you can't afford for yourself. It said, girl, she literally said she was consenting. Ooh, like what mother does this to themselves? I would live on the street before I use my body like this. Yes, a 2-year lease. Hey, honey. Yes, YouTube Streets. Thank you for joining the membership. Yeah, she's a bad one. Yeah. All right, let's keep going back to the tweets. She says, I'm sick. Now leave me alone. How are you going to tell somebody to leave you alone? He can't leave you alone. He got to pay your rent. She said, I'm super clear now. You had me on constant pins and needles, but now I'm sick. Leave me alone. Does the next message reference a prior relationship that you had? Yes. Then he says, I was told you were crazy. He said, you took it too far, baby girl. You'll see. He was threatening me about the rent. Then we don't need to do. Oh, he was threatening me about the rent, that we don't need to do anything we don't want. Wait a minute. That's not a threat. If you're saying you don't want to do freakoffs and he says, all right, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, and that includes him, in other words, he'll withdraw himself from your life, how is that a threat? He was threatening me about the rent, that we don't need to do anything that we don't want. Right. And he doesn't want to pay rent for somebody who's not going to help him orgasm. Jane wrote, you're mad at me about a grown man. I think they're talking about her baby daddy. She says, stop right there. Was this referring to your prior relationship, as in the baby daddy? Yes. I wrote, you wasted my time in this toxic ass relationship. Did you then refer to your previous relationship? She said, yes. Well, she's had multiple previous relationships, so who knows which one it could be. She says, you invited me to New York to pair me up with some random man. Any MFer for your own sick sexual. What were you talking about? The two men. Oh my God. She said, the two men I chose for myself, Sly and Anton. Sean kept trying to say, I chose them. I had wanted it. I wrote, you want to gaslight me. What did you mean? He wanted me to believe I had wanted these things. What else did Sean text you? He said, you and me don't have no beef. I said, you created all this evil inside of me. Oh, girl. She's over here trying to stand up for herself. He said, you and me don't have no beef. You know, he's trying to be all love. You and me don't have no beef. I said, you created all this evil in me. I bet her voice got deep when she said that. Then Jane writes to him, I regret everything, all this toxic ish, which overran my life. He said, you are burning a bridge that you're going to need tomorrow. What did you write? I wrote, I don't trust you. He said, 10 hours ago, you loved me. Not this. Whoop. Oh, he's definitely a love bomber, y'all. Total love bomber and gaslighter. Jane wrote, it's a free country. I'm an adult and you're an adult. You're writing a whole book about what you hate about me. We both made promises that we didn't keep. If you don't want to talk to me, there's nothing I can do. Did you get the phone? Yes. Hold up. This chick. Wait. We both made promises that we didn't keep. Child, there goes the material fraud. If y'all are both lying to each other, again, it's only fraud if this is insane. Hold on. I'm exiting the full screen. No, we putting this back on the screen. There we go. This lady. Sorry, guys. All right. Let's do this. Okay. I don't know what was the issue with the Wi-Fi. Okay. Can you still see me? Are we okay now? Okay. I don't know why I went. Okay, I'm back. Good. All right, let me add this back to the screen. This girl, I hope you can hear me because this is just goofy and doofy. Here we go. Goofy and doofy. Here we go. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Now we're gonna get these tweets back up. I don't know what the heck. So this girl just says she's consenting. Why are we here, guys? Somebody said I was about to delete my phone. I am back. Sorry. They all had analysts and psychiatrists excusing these women. How about they get one for Sean? He had an S addiction and also addiction to drugs. Will that excuse it? Just saying. They are definitely going to be calling an expert for him on his side. And I wouldn't be surprised if that expert does both, talks about his addictions and his behavior, and perhaps even says, hey, I examined Sean and there's no way he could have been coercive or whatever intentionally and knowingly because of how throwed off he was with drugs. That's possible. I don't know how much we'll buy that, especially as it relates to Cassie. But I also think he may call a witness to basically say these other witnesses who are claiming to have PTSD and all this stuff are not telling the truth. But I just got to reread this. Oh, girl says, I said, you knew I would finish strong. Pep talks to keep me performing. I know I was consenting. Like you said, you didn't know. I didn't want it. This is my truth. I love you very much. I need to take a pause. Y'all, why are we here? She just said, I know I was consenting. You didn't know I didn't want it. This is my truth. Why are we here? Somebody help me. Next witness. That is insane. I think I figured out. She used the word consent. Yes, she used the word consent. Someone that says the feds forced her to testify. Okay, I see what the problem is. Here we go. Whenever I try to put one of y'all's statements on the screen, for some reason my screen goes black. But someone said the feds forced her to testify. Must have. I think they must have. And I think that that was foolish. But I still have a slight theory. Y'all, I have a theory that maybe Diddy wanted her to testify so that it would throw everything off, as it seems to be doing right now. Basically, go in, be your nice, sweet self, testify to this ridiculous argument, and increase the likelihood that a jury will say not guilty to both of the counts. I don't know. What do y'all think? Oh, I never got to see the poll. Let me see. Let me see how that poll is doing. Where's that poll? Let me see the poll. All right. 80. Okay. Okay. For the poll. Oh, it's split. Okay. The poll on whether or not this is financial abuse. You guys are not playing around. It says, I'm not going to end it yet. 50%. Let's see. 54% say yes, it's financial abuse. And the rest say, no, it's not. So more people see this as financial abuse than don't. I'm shocked, but I'm glad to hear differing opinions. Someone said Diddy may have been live streaming and selling the freak off videos on the dark web. I was literally thinking Diddy's side wanted her. Yes, I was thinking maybe that he wanted her. My colleague and I said the same thing. Both lawyers, Canadian, were like, maybe that's what he wanted, to throw all this off. I said earlier, she's there for Diddy. She thinks he will take her back if she acts right. Yeah. I think importantly, if he gets off, she wants to be the last woman standing for sure. Remember, she was with him until the day he was arrested and did a freak off up just weeks before. He was arrested in September. She did her last freak off in August of the same year. It said, this is my truth. I love you very much. I need to take a pause. Why did you say, I know I was consenting? Because she knew she was consenting, Miss Comey. Sorry, I don't mean to yell at y'all. Why did you say, I know I was consenting? She said, I pick up the word from him. He said, if anyone saw these videos, they'd say that you wanted it. Was that true, Jane? I'm still trying to figure that out. Yo, she's working for the defense. She's working for the defense. That's all that is. She's working for the defense. Prosecution thought she was going to help, but she's working for the defense. She said, why did you say, I know I was consenting? I picked up the word from him. Okay, I'm following you there. I picked up the word from him. He said, if anyone saw these videos, they'd say you wanted it. Was that true? I'm still trying to figure that out. In other words, she can't say, no, she didn't want it. Hello. If now, years after this occurred, you can't affirmatively say, no, absolutely, I did not want this. How in the heck is the man supposed to know that? She knows who butters her bread. She knows who pays her rent. Thank you so much for the compliment on my skin. Yes, I am black. She said, even the pimps and O's, it doesn't mean pimps shouldn't be prosecuted. Well, that's very true. That's true. That has been worded very strange. She said, I consented to it. And then she's saying, he taught me that word. That is some weird, odd, freaky-ish. Oh my gosh. Let's get through this. Then she says, what did you see in the videos? I was high. I was just following a pattern, performing. Exhibit, please read it. It's from my notes. Now remember, these notes she just writes to herself. Sometimes she sends them to Diddy and sometimes she doesn't. She wrote, I'm having PTSD from these nights. Why is this in your notes app? To get my feelings out. Did you ever see Sean that day? No, the question is, did you ever send this note to Sean? Because again, if Sean is not clear, the fact that you said, I know I was consenting, and like you said, you didn't know I didn't want it, it means he expressed to you he thought you wanted it because apparently you weren't clear. Then she says, what did you see in the videos? I was just following a pattern, performing. Exhibit, please read it. Okay. Why is it in your notes? She says, to get my feelings out. Did you see Sean that day? Yes, at his home. I was comforted by him. I was able to talk about the pain that I was feeling. He was hugging me. What are these? Photos. Photos I took of us in his master bathroom. I felt he understood me in that moment. He had a Halloween video shoot. That was nice. But his birthday was approaching and I felt nervous. He'd want to party hard, but he spent his birthday with family. I got him a mobile television. We had these things called movie nights, our videos. In other words, their movie nights, it's not like watching, Raggedy Ann and Andy. It's not like watching like The Cosby Show or American Pie or whatever, or what is it? Road Trip. Their movie nights are watching their freak off videos where they're doing God knows what with God knows who for God knows how long. And they would take it from one of his phones and screen share it onto the TV. So it says, so she bought him a mobile TV so he could look at more of those videos. Now, girly, the only videos he likes to take is of you freaking off. So why on earth would you buy him more accessories to enjoy that? But okay. And encourage it. Jane says, I felt this TV could substitute for the entertainer. Oh, because they were going to put the freaky videos on the big TV. She said, I thought it could substitute for the entertainer. Then Cassie's lawsuit came out. It was everywhere on social media. I think I fainted. Why? Because there were 3 pages that were harrowing. It was what I experienced. It was what I was experiencing. Did you screenshot those pages? Yes. Do you recognize this? It's Cassie's lawsuit filed November 16th, 2023. Had you met Cassie? In 2015, a fashion show celebration for Sean. That's the only time I met Cassie. Okay, so then they didn't start dating. She didn't start dating Sean till 21. So I guess she was just at the event and knew him socially, I suppose. Jane says, I was reading these pages and it felt like a nightmare. I had a lot of sympathy for this because objection. Ask a new question, says the judge. How did you react? Like, I can't believe I'm reading my own story. Honestly, that probably had to really throw her for a loop. AUSA says, read your messages the day after Cassie's lawsuit. 4 in one night, and now I'm going to the doctor. Then 3 days later, I wrote, I feel like I'm reading my own actual trauma. God finally spoke me up. God finally woke me up out of this cycle. You gaslit me. Now, mind you, these are notes, though, she didn't actually send to Sean, which is weird. She didn't send these to Sean. She just wrote them. Okay. Then it says, we're going to play some audio with your true name redacted. Show the full transcript to the jury. Loud and scratchy audio is played. It's Sean saying, I love you. You know what I'm saying. I'm trying to stop all this madness, Jane. I don't know. I don't know. Child. Did you know you were being recorded? Hold on. It says, did you know you were being recorded? No. Did you know you were being listened in on? No. More audio. Jane is saying, who's there when I close my eyes and I have these Jane is saying, who's there when I close my eyes and I have these effed up things in my head? Oh, so y'all, it sounds like, guys. Ooh, let me shake my lube. Let's shake the lube, guys. Somebody said, oh, I can change my vote to no. Yes, you can. You can definitely change your vote to no. It's sounding like she's now realizing, of course, that she's not the only one that went through this, that Cassie went through this too in such detail. But it also is sounding like how it says here, did you know you were being recorded? No, it sounds like these were probably some of the audio that was seized from Diddy's house. Because how else would he get it? Feds are trying to catch him. It could be, or it could be that Diddy was recording stuff. But no, it sounds like, let me see, where were they located? I think they were at her house. God finally woke me up out of this nightmare, but I'm going to stay with you until you're actually arrested. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. It says Jane Doe is being used because they're having issues with Gina. So I totally see what you're thinking there, Sutherland. But the reason that's probably not true is Gina is not in the indictment as a S trafficking count. Victim 2 is. So for that reason, it's like victim 2 was always slated to give testimony on S trafficking, and they didn't get him indicted on the offense to her until April. They literally threw this in last minute. Someone said, I don't feel this is coercion. Yeah. Diddy has a whole library of recordings. I absolutely believe that. Said, yeah, but that's all. Oh, somebody's a troll. Book deal. Symone, do I think he continued to pay the house rent since it appears his name may be on the house as well? So it could be. And I do believe that the lease, okay, they went over the lease with us. I'm going to confirm that. Okay. Yeah, they went over the lease with us. I can't remember whose name. It's not in the name of his corporation. I'm pretty sure it's in her name. I think he likely continued to pay it because he knew the charges he was facing, one of which is tampering with witnesses. And if she was in the hotel room with him when he got locked up, oh, they scooped her right on up. So his lawyers probably advised and said, hey, once his lawyers started to hear kind of what the claims were or were going to be, they likely said, you know what, keep paying her rent, because that's going to nullify their ability to say it was financial coercion. Also, he likely continued to pay it so that he wasn't at risk of them claiming that he stopped paying it as a method of tampering with witnesses or trying to like pay her off. I'm not sure. What if his house was bugged? It sure could be, but that's the thing. It was her house. This appears to be her house. Let me go back and just double check. I was reading these pages. It felt like a nightmare. Read your messages the day after her lawsuit. I wrote, I'm reliving my trauma. We're going to play some audio with your true name, show the transcripts, trying to stop all the madness. Did you know you were being recorded? If it's you were being recorded, more than likely it was at one of his places, his houses, but he did not own. He was only renting the house that she lives in to this day. It says, no, did you know you were being listened in on? No. Jane saying, who's there when I close my eyes? I had these messed up things in my head. Ciao. I still cannot believe we've got a text message of her saying, I know I was consenting. Why are we here? Okay. The next, it says, Yeah, God finally worked me up out of the cycle. You gaslit me. And it says we're going to play some audio. It says, Sean is saying, I love you. You know what I'm saying. I'm trying to stop all this madness, Jane. I don't know. Then Cummy says, did you know you're being recorded? And so far, that's all we've got. We are waiting. I'm just befuddled. Y'all, I'm ready for us to go to the next witness, but I'm terrified. I'm sorry. I'll make this larger. I'm ready for us to go to the next witness, but I'm terrified that this woman is going to be the second to last witness. A gaslighter too. Says academics is streaming among many other non-lawyers. Thanks for your visit. Love bombing is his language. Yep. Bless her heart, she is naive. The recording wasn't it from the feds? I think it was probably, yeah, I think it was likely from the Fed surveillance. I'm sorry, for some reason when I put comments on the screen, it's making the screen black out, which I don't know why that's happening. Love bombing is, why are y'all assuming she wasn't bugged in her own place? I like that. He especially had these women on monitors when he wasn't there. That's true, because we know, like with Cassie's car, dang, that gets me thinking. With Cassie's car, he had a tracker on there. And one of the days, he told her all the places that she had been to on a given day. And she was freaked out by that. Hell no. Hell to the no. He probably did bug her house. I absolutely would believe that. Thank you guys for coming back on in. Hit that like as you come in. There we go. Hit that like and hit that subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jane Doe's testimony. And we're waiting for a refresher. Let's see what we've got next before we go to the lunch break. All right, here we go. Did you know you were being recorded? No. Did you know you were being listened in on? No. And then Diddy is saying in the recording, I'm trying to be there for you. You know what I'm saying? Jane says, I'm just effed up right now. Combs asks, are you recording me? Jane, were you recording him? She said, absolutely not. Apparently Diddy's the only person that goes around recording people. Mind you, this is in California. So in California, you're actually supposed to have permission of both parties prior to recording. Is it true that Keanu Reeves and Diddy's mom testify? Absolutely not. Diddy's mom, thank you so much for the super chat. There we go. I don't know why that did that, but Diddy's mom will not be testifying, not for the prosecution and certainly not for him. Neither will his sons. His sons will not be testifying. His daughters will not be testifying. Gene Deal also will not be testifying. Either side could choose to call them, but they're not going to be called. They had already had to submit their witness list. Oh, wow. Somebody is just saying, y'all, it's talking people says you go in Google history to see all the places a person has been in if you have access to their email. Oh, thank you for the stalker tip. Wow. Oh, wow. That's weird. I have no idea, y'all, why my screen goes off. But yeah, Keanu's not testifying. A lot of people are not testifying. Desiree, thank you so much for the super chat. Positive Beauty as well. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that super chat. Oh, Kelly. Yes, thanks for coming back. Yes, guys, just a little technical difficulties. I'm right on back. Kelly Evans, because there's so much to legally break down. And I think each day, there we go. Thank you guys for that super chat. Each day, as we are waiting for more tweets to refresh, I'm going to give you more legal analysis. Yes, I do have my crazy sidebars. Somebody keeps writing sidebar. I do have my crazy sidebars, but there are a lot of facts that I want you guys to be aware of. So number one, in the prior break, remember, I had explained that it has been confirmed by the prosecution that KK is a co-conspirator. I put actually the transcript section up on the screen where specifically the prosecution had said that she was a co-conspirator. So there's no questions when people try to act like they don't know. It says, watch how this cross goes. She's about to get fried. Yeah, I am scared for her. Are they naming celebs? No, for some reason it looks like they're definitely not naming her baby dad, which I think is wise. But also what was interesting is today they called the girl Chelsea. I'm pretty sure it was Carisha. That's cute that they, picked another C name, but I think that they are actually changing out the names of certain celebrities. It says she realized she settled for 10,000, and Cassie said the S trauma. Yep. That's what it is. For sure. Sorry, I really want to make sure I put that on the screen. For sure. That is so huge. Thank you, Kareem, for saying that. So basically, she was testifying that she had just found out about Cassie's lawsuit. And when she read it, she actually screenshotted the pages that described the freakoffs, because for the first time, that's how she realized she was not the only one, that was Diddy's thing. Now, interestingly, some of the times when she was really upset, it appears she was upset because she felt like he was only using her to do freak-offs, and then was taking Young Miami and other girlfriends on private jets, villas to Turks and Caicos. That girl cried one more time about gosh darn Turks and doggone Caicos. It would have been a recorded phone call. Yes. It says Diddy operates just like a pimp. Read the autobiography of Iceberg Slim. It's like Diddy. Hit that subscribe button as you come in, guys. Can the defense say the celebs' actual names? Not without the judge's permission. There are certain, because my guess would be there would be certain people that if you knew who they were, it would identify who she is. I hope she ends up with that many subscribers. She deserves it. Thank you so much. KK deserves everything she gets. Seriously, I want KK. I want her to get it. I want her to be ostracized. I would like for her to be blackballed. I want her to have an issue getting a job after this. Because let me tell you something. Wherever she goes, she better not make no LinkedIn. Because when we find out who she's working for, I think when we find out who she's working for, I think a whole bunch of people are going to call that company and be like, she was a criminal mastermind. She was a co-conspirator. She got off. All right. Ooh, so the update is, so the question was to Jane, were you recording him? Jane said, absolutely not. There's more audio. Here, Sean's voice says, what you did is not right. You know what I'm saying? I can't talk on this phone. I don't know what the F is going on. I need you to support. You got me that video. You got me that video thing. What did that mean? The mobile TV I got him. Huh. Oh, it sounds like he's crashing out because Cassie's lawsuit just came out. This is that time frame. So he knows like his reputation is going to be screwed. So he says, what you did is not right. You know what I'm saying? I can't talk on the phone. I don't know what the F is going on. I need you to support. You got me that video thing, meaning the mobile TV I got him. Lord, what is it? Does he think that you're what's that word? Lord, does he think that maybe she's bugged the TV so she could spy on him? That's only something that somebody who spies on other people would guess. Please add the ad libs if you're using the Diddy voice. Oh, I sure will. Didn't Cassie get the same allowance of $10K a month? I'm not sure, honestly. But I know she got an apartment and a car. So this lady is really undersold herself. Sheesh. Maybe that's why she don't want to give up the house now. She's like, listen, this is punitive damages. This is back pay. You should have been. I hope she got a car out of it now. Where you going to ride? You need to ride around in something nice. My Diddy voice, popcorn, yellow striped smile. All these ladies seem shady. Prosecutors, get her off the stand. Literally. Oh, somebody said no, Cassie got $250. Oh, okay. $250 a year. Well, She needed more. So now he needs her support. Right. Don't ask me for shit. He definitely was bluffing when he pretended like she could go. Well, and I don't know how much before this that was. That's why I love getting the transcripts. I get the transcripts at night. So anything we're not clear on, I can clarify tomorrow. It says Jane sounds kind of crazy, but in a good way. LOL, my kind of woman. Cassie had an apartment in New York and Miami. You're right. She sure did. Because he wanted her to be closer to him. So she was in New York. He moved her literally up the street from his house. Desiree says, KK will go to jail. Not Diddy. He's a man. Listen, KK, sweetie, you're not sweet. So I shouldn't call you sweetie. KK would be fooling herself if she thinks that Diddy is in any way going to save her. She gonna end up just like Shine. Just like Shine. Yeah, what else happened here? I wonder if they're going on a lunch break. Yeah, she gonna end up like Shine because that don't make no doggone sense. All she had to do, and I'm sure they would have given her complete immunity. So update, if you're just joining us, guys, there was a part 1. This is part 2 from today. There might be a part 3 for later this afternoon if I don't go down there. It says Cassie at an apartment. KK will go. They should ask if she's planning to sue later. Oh, could Diddy's defense blame it on KK as the mastermind? They sure can. That KK was in control when Diddy was high and all of those things. Just like Shine. Facts. Yes, they absolutely can. Ciao. What happened with KK? We don't know. We just know she's not testifying. I'm literally like waiting for a text to find out. They're not allowed to have. We're not allowed to have our cell phones. Excellent. Oh, Lord, I got a trial starting on the 16th. Anyway, but we're not allowed to have our cell phones in there. The heck? 1 second. Yeah, we are not allowed to have our cell phones in the courtroom. So I'm literally trying to wait and see. I'm waiting to find out if any of the other security guards might be called. Because I'm like, listen, somebody need to be in there. Hey, Nadia. So I'm still unclear. Was KK ever offered a proper agreement or immunity to testify? The answer is we don't know. We don't know. I would assume so, but that's just my educated guess from doing this for almost decades. But here's the thing, though. They could give her a proffer. They could do all of that. But if she's going to be a bad witness or if she's going to get up there and not say things that are helpful. So if she's going to say like, no, this wasn't an enterprise. It's just sometimes I do it because I want to. He never bossed me around or whatever it is. If she's not going to say things that are going to bring this all together, then there's no point in having her. All right, we got some more audio. So at this point, Diddy was being a little, what's that word? Make it bigger. Being like paranoid. He was like, were you recording me? Comey says, Your Honor, this might be a good place to break. Okay, they can go. How much longer, Miss Comey? She says, I'm confident I'll finish today. It might be by the end of the day, but it will be today. Oh, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going on my lunch break. I need to read you guys some of this transcript. Somebody said bail is the new creep haven. If she's going to be Jane Doe, gotcha. Why hasn't Cassie put out music since she left Diddy? She may not have had the money to do it or the energy or the time. Well, she was addicted to drugs. So she had to go to rehab for a while. So let's say what's interesting, y'all, is that, let me get this off my damn screen. I got some documents I got to share with y'all. We need to look at this because I want to give you guys a preview of Jane's testimony for this evening. And let's check the poll. This poll is supposed to help us know whether, let's see. Okay. The question was, is this financial coercion, which is then S trafficking? All right, 57% of y'all said it is. I'm gonna do the Diddy voiceover. I am. Diddy talking about something. He's like, I don't know what the F is going on. I need you to support. You got to give me that video thing. What did he mean? The mobile TV I got him. What does that mean? I need your support. You need to get me a TV. Who the hell knows? Who knows? But I am surprised and well educated to hear that 57% of y'all do feel like the rent situation is in fact financial coercion. Okay. But also, she was having babies after rehab. Yeah, that was a lie. Being a good singer doesn't matter. Rock, you know, you don't have to be here, right? I love that. Thank you, Natasha. Let them know. But here's the thing. What if the defense, okay, so I think the bombshell text that we saw today was Cassie acknowledging not only that she was consenting, but that she knew and that Sean had told her he did not know she didn't want to do these things. That's huge. She says, I know I was consenting. And then he says, and like you said, I know you didn't know that I didn't want to. What? And then when the judge says, why did you say that you were consenting? She says, well, I don't know. Girl, you better find out. You were supposed to know. Or why would you say that? She was like, well, I don't know. You've had 2 years to figure this out. 57%. Oh, somebody said 57%, but that was before her consenting nonsense. Yeah, I mean Jane, not Cassie. I'm talking about Jane. Jane. I thought she was going to go on tour. Are you talking about Cassie? Can a drugged person consent? So here's what's tricky about them. They were both drugged. So if she can't consent, arguably neither can he. And the answer is it depends on what it is. Y'all hit that subscribe button as you come in. So it really just depends on what it is that they're supposed to be consenting to. SEX, yeah. They're especially, the drug of choice here, the DOC, was X. Well, X is a love-making drug, okay? X makes you, it makes you rub on yourself, okay? It makes you kind. It makes you nice. Mia said when she took X, it made her hug everybody, want to make everybody your friend. It used to be that way when I used to take my Adderall at first. Not anymore, but it's overkill. It says, what was her reasoning for still accepting his money? She hasn't given any yet. She hasn't given. I wondered that as well. Too many fingers pointed at KK. That might be Jane. Yeah. There's a lot going on with Jane. It says, Symone, real question. Is that $20 million for Cassie tax-free? Yeah, it actually would be. So if they did the standard agreement that we do in a case where they're just giving you a lump sum and you go, so it's not a jury, Cassie's money, and I wish I could put this up on the screen, Cassie's $20 million is tax-free due to the fact that it's for her pain and suffering. You don't have to pay, unless there's a state where there's an exception, you don't have to pay taxes on your pain and suffering because that's you. You suffered, you went through that. But what you do have to pay taxes on is lost wages or future wages, because wages, of course, are taxed. So that's how come with my clients, when I negotiate them settlements, we call it a universal settlement. That means whatever this dollar amount is, it's for any and everything that you could have possibly sued for. So pain and suffering, lost wages, all of the above. Hope that helps. Y'all hit that subscribe. It says, I wondered that as well. Too many things. What was her reasoning? I need to know why. See, I need to know why that's going to be really important on the defense side as to whether or not she was truly financially coerced, finding out why she took that money. If she's making big money on, let's say, OnlyFans or something else, because she's definitely done something since this man got locked up last September. So if she's making big money on that, then the question is, are you still being coerced? Like, why haven't you moved out the house? Is this the coercion that kept you in the house? Because he's still paying. Now, granted, it was clever of him. Diddy is still paying the rent, likely to look good at court. And obviously, she doesn't have to do any freak-offs anymore for the rent because he ain't available to freak off nothing. So she's already content. Yes. Oh, and also with Cassie, more than likely, her lawyer's fees did not come out of that settlement. They very likely could have been in addition to. And that's because the laws she sued under grant her attorney's fees. So she may not have had to give that lawyer 40%. Yeah, she used that child support on her lifestyle. And I wouldn't be surprised if the defense pulls out that this lady had like a large amount of child support for a number of years and that it then decreased. And the decrease, I'm curious to see if the decrease correlates at all with when Diddy was like, well, here, I'll give you this. If so, that's going to be another alternate argument for why, if she had any financial pressure, it wasn't from Diddy's side, it was from her situation. Has she visited him in jail? I'm sure she has. Why hasn't Little Rod been called to? Girl, yeah, he's not going to be called at all. I know that for a fact. So here's one of the ways to know for sure if someone's going to be called. And this is why I'm your legal bestie, because I give you that legal tea, and you can feel free to repeat this at the water cooler, whatever, is if you see this person in the courtroom, there's no tapes, but if you hear about the person being in the courtroom, they're not getting called to testify because witnesses are not allowed to sit in on testimony because that could influence their testimony. Now, the only person, there was a super duper exception, that was for Alex Fine, Cassie's husband, simply due to the fact that, number one, he was only on the defense list and the defense wasn't even sure they wanted to call him. And he was there for moral support for his 9-month pregnant wife. So both sides agreed that it was okay for Alex Fine to sit in on the courtroom. So he did. But the agreement was that, so the only thing he would be testifying about would have been related to the R word, if anything. And therefore, they made him leave the courtroom when it got to the point of talking about that testimony, because they knew each day what they were going to talk about. So they were able to say, okay, this is the day that we're getting to that scenario, because they did it chronologically for the most part, and so he wasn't in. But yeah, Little Rod is not testifying. Quincy, Justin, King Combs not testifying. The daughters, Mama is not testifying. Gene Deal not testifying, and Little Rod. So I think Little Rod. I think the reason why they actually No, I was going to say he was probably never actually on the witness list now that I think about it, because he was at court day one. So anybody there day one knows, the only way you can do that is you're not going to be called. So I think they probably didn't want him to be called because he's too easy to cross-examine. Remember, the defense theme is this is all a money grab. So the prosecution needs to call fewer people that have active lawsuits against Diddy. If everyone taking the stand saying he's a bad person is someone presently suing him for millions, the jury is going to not give that testimony as much credibility. Somebody said, Cassie said, checkmate. Her lawyer at this point, Diddy would have just been better off saying he wanted to own and be a director. Yes. Oh. Also, okay, I want to clarify something about RICO racketeering. So this case is, let me put the indictment up. Let's get this indictment up. What are we doing here? The current V is not helping. Oh no, Banna didn't take that. It was alleged that it could have been $1 million. It's expected that, so Banna is the one that was dangled off the balcony. It's expected that whatever he offered her was a substantial amount because they fought tooth and nail on the defense to not get that admitted. The prosecution kept trying to elicit it and he didn't want it in. Here's why. The higher the amount, the more it would appear he actually knew he did that thing. So if he's only offering like $10,000 or whatever, then he could be like, oh yeah, I just paid her that to go away. Nothing really happened. But if that number's like $1 million, $500,000, something like that, it's argued that it was like $1 million. If that number's $1 million, that gives support to the jury that this thing did in fact happen, y'all. So I thought that was some interesting evidence as well. Hold on. It says Little Rod wasn't believable. Yes, hit that subscribe, y'all, and hit that like. It says, Noel, might as well be on the Tootsie Roll. Diddy is watching you. Please don't say that. Do not say, Symone, stop. Who knows what I was doing? I don't know what you're saying. Okay, let's see. Why did he offer Vanna money if nothing happened? That was my question. That was my question. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Tootsie Roll. Oh, girl. Huh? Okay. Got it. Well, figure that out. Got it. Little Rod is definitely believable. He is the one that found, okay. Little Rod's more believable. He's definitely the one that found more pictures and videos and submitted them. No. We're not falling for that. No. Here on this channel, we come with facts and receipts, which is he did not have pictures and videos. I know it looked that way, but later, like when examining that complaint, because I read all the pages, he actually had a lot of irrelevant photos. So, for example, there was like a photo of like Prince Harry and Diddy or somebody like that. I can't even remember. And it almost implying that Prince Harry had something to do. Excuse me. That Prince Harry had something to do with it. No, Prince Harry didn't have anything to do with any of that stuff. So a lot of the pictures made it seem like, oh, he's got receipts. But really, when you got down to it, those pictures were not relevant to the claim. So also, some of his facts were found to be incorrect. However, remember, Vanna's initial lawyer was Little Rod's lawyer, and she found that there was some things incorrect in hers. But I have to say, like one of the inconsistencies in Vanna's, I don't remember, it might have been the date, I'm not sure, but they're claiming that it was incorrect that she stated that as he was dangling her off the building, that he says, I'm the devil, I'm gonna kill you. Well, I could see why a lawyer could make that mistake and putting it there instead of, oh, it happened at a photo shoot or wherever she said it actually happened. Simply because if someone is dangling you, that is literally them physically showing you that they are trying to. Okay. Sorry. Okay, guys. I'll be back. We're going to have lunch. I'll be back this evening, this afternoon after lunch. See you guys later. Love you guys. Bye.